I've been shooting at ducks for so long, there's no need for the pawn. Luigi, my chessboard, see the green magic perform. Go and cluck, stupid fuck, upset me, watch me buck. Yes, I'm young, but this GQ big units, these dear rappers.
Greetings, how you guys doing? So today is the day. I kind of was avoiding this topic because it's a touchy topic for me. For whoever knows me personally knows that this is a very touchy topic for me, but I'm going to dive into it as much as possible. And of course, keep this very professional as it should be, of course, right? Okay, so, you know what we do here at Poefitness. Let's, okay, got it. We good. Let's set this up real quick, like that. All right. Let's do it one more time. Okay. Good. I'm good. You good? Good. All right. So, the reason why this is a very touchy topic for me because currently my mother has had diabetes, type 2 diabetes, for, I would say, going over 30 years. Yeah. And I would say also, well, I've known her to have it my entire life, but from what I've been told, this didn't occur until probably a couple years before I was born. So this has been something that has, been developing for quite some time. Okay. Man, when I say we are misinformed, we are misinformed in so much from financial literacy to health to spiritual enlightenment. But she got type 2 diabetes, and I had to watch her go through so much, witness her go through so much. And it was a very difficult process for me. It's obviously, growing up literally as a child, as a child, 4 years old, 3, 4, 5 years old, you're taught how to use the phone. That's, you're taught how to remember phone numbers, how to use a phone in case of emergency, because at that time, that was when kids was running away or getting stolen, and we was able to find a payphone, and if we got away, and boom, we could call our family, and like, hey, well, yeah, not to remember the phone number or the address and all these information. You're supposed to remember those things for in case you get lost. You're supposed to remember that information. Not when, to me, but not when your mom is, in her bedroom and you're coming from school at 5 years old and you're seeing her just, laid out on the bed. And you're trying to figure out, like, what's happening with her, what's going on. Can she hear you? Like, she's not moving. You just see this blank stare and her eyes staring up in the wall. And if she is able to hear you, it's not much communication. You get an entire different person, but it's like they're just drunk or they're slurred or they're just not conscious of what they're doing or what's going on. Literally, they're not conscious, because when they come back and you ask them questions, they'll look at you like, I don't know what you're talking about. And it's you could say it's baffling, or you could say it's confusing, it's crazy, it's weird. You can say a lot of things, but it's a lot for a young boy to go through, a young man to go through. It's still going through it. It's tougher now. I thought it was tough when I was a kid, but man, I didn't know. Like the old saying, if you only knew what you knew before or what you knew then. Anyway, so I want to dive into this appropriately and provide the best options that I have laid out, to get over this diabetic thing, to get over this, because it's not just my mom. It hurts a lot of families, a lot of men and women that are our elders or future elders, and it shouldn't be affecting them whatsoever. You know what I mean? Like one day you see them strong, you see them tough, they bold, and then the next day you see them with this overbelly, or you see them a little slower, or you see them a little off than usual, and you're like, what's wrong with them? And then you see them in the corner, and they're doing this, checking their blood sugar, blood levels, or they take. You don't want to see that. Like, that's something. It's tough. And then when you become immune to it, or numb to it, or just used to it, it's not something nobody should go through. Point blank, period. Nobody. So let's go into it really. Let's listen to let's go into what we could really digest here. So type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune condition which causes the body to attack cells that produce insulin, right? It also damages the cells and undermines the body's ability to manage the blood glucose. So the blood glucose, what is specifically the blood glucose, right? Blood sugar levels. So blood glucose, excuse me. For example, someone that doesn't have diabetes, on awakening should be under, like, for example, 100 milligrams of their blood. Like, if it's under that kind of specific level of a blood glucose or blood sugar level. Okay, so to my estimate, between 100 to 110, 120 is a normally regulated blood sugar level or blood glucose level. If it's over 140, we have a problem. And if it's over 140, you're going into the dimensions of also hypertension, high blood pressure. Okay? You want to stay away from that. When your high blood pressure is skyrocketing, boy, your heart pounds. Okay? You're shaky. Your nerves is off. You're not feeling yourself whatsoever. You're dizzy. You got to sit down for a bit. You're not sure what's happening. Your vision may get a little blurry. It's not fun. All right, so that's specifically what what it's called. So type 2 diabetes, a bit more complex, and it's the sugar consumption is not really the full 100% effect. I'll agree to that to a certain extent. And I'll explain a little. I'll explain why going further. Let's finish. So, the excess sugar consumption that can cause the weight gain and obesity causes the risk of diabetes to be alarming. All right, so it's like once someone doesn't have diabetes specifically, or doesn't have it at all, and they become obese, then they're eating a lot of sugary foods or foods and drinks that have a lot of sugar in it. It is a very big red flag, because what people are not understanding is that when the body cannot break down the sugars it's supposed to be breaking down, when the body and the digestive system is not, because you're not properly eating the right foods to break down the foods properly, to break down the sugar solids, or the consumptions in a proper manner, especially if it's over exceeding your sugar consumption, all right, on a daily or weekly or monthly basis. That is a problem. When the body cannot break down certain foods, certain sugars, certain insulin, whatever it may be, in your body, it causes a problem over time. Okay? So, being that your body cannot break down this sugar, that glucose it emerges, or it becomes that specific glucose, and it stays within your bloodstream for long periods of time, now it becomes you. It's one with you now, instead of it digesting completely out of your system. And the more it becomes, the more you keep adding that glucose, and the more it turns into it, the more you get into situations of obesity, the sluggish, the blood clotting, the different painful areas within your body, for example, in your stomach. So if you are a person that have digestive situations or digestive systems issues specifically, you could be running into that issue. And 9 times out of 10, you might just have like high blood pressure. Just saying. If you don't, you don't. It's cool. But just saying, you may run into those specific issues. Now let's get back on topic. So, say that you are obese. You got the blood pressure. Why are you still consuming over excess versions of sugar? You're just making the situation worse, because now that you have the diabetes, sugar is something that you want to stay away from as much as possible, even though you do need it at certain points of the day, because it's like a fluctuation. It's like one moment you're good, you don't need sugar, and then boom, you need sugar. You need some kind of sugar. You're not in control of it anymore when you're supposed to be in control. Okay? Now, can this be reversed? Of course. Of course. Of course. Any disease, infections, anything, all of them can be reversed. Why? Because it can be naturally removed out of your body. If you can heal a scar on your body, I'm just saying, I'm hypothetically talking here. If you can heal a scar on your body, if someone can beat prostate cancer, skin cancer, breast cancer, if they could beat that, why are you believing anyone else that says, oh, this in your body, it can't be removed, it can't be this, it can't be that? That doesn't make sense. That's like telling me the sky's the limit when I know there's more out there. How is sky's the limit? Why the hell I see stars then? Why am I seeing stars? Why am I seeing the moon? I'm just saying. Anyway, so to piggyback on what I was saying earlier, specifically regarding sugar being the 100% cause or blame, I'll probably say 90%, 10% is you. I won't even go that far, excuse me. Let's flip that. 10% is the sugar, 90% is you. Okay? That 10% can cause 90% damage. You see what I'm saying? But that 10% of sugar is just enough. That 90% is you. Why? Because you love sugary drinks. You love your Coca-Cola. You love your Pepsi. You love your Czech sodas. You love your Fantas. You love your Minute Maids. You love your Mountain Dews. High fructose corn syrup. Read your labels. You see it everywhere. You see it everywhere. On top of that, and when I say everywhere, man, it's everywhere. Like in your chips, in your bread, in your food, in your rice. Like it's everywhere. In your canned foods. Oh my goodness, bro. It's aggravating. Anyway, it really is. It truly is aggravating, because when you're someone that wants to eat healthy and you keep running into food that have all these different things in them and these different crap in them and all this yellow six and bio shit you just cannot pronounce. Like, why is that in my food? Why is that in my drink? Why? What's the point of it? Doesn't make sense, man. And it pisses me off, because you can be doing this for long periods of time over the years, since a kid, or it's because your parents gave it to you, your grandparents gave it to you, and you thinking it's all good. You're good, and then when you get older and you get young, when you get older and then you have children, as well, and you're teaching them how to cook, you're passing down the same crap to them. You're passing down the same detrimental BS that killed off their grandparents and their great 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 grandparents. The same stuff. If they ain't killing you in the streets, they're killing you in the food. Like, come on. Like, can I win somewhere? Can I live somewhere? Like, what's good? So yeah, it's 90% you. Read your labels. Look at the foods. Look at what you're buying. Some of the stuff that you buy that's canned foods, you could buy in baggage. I don't buy tuna in cans no more. I don't buy beans in cans no more. Vegetables in cans no more. There's no point. There's frozen vegetables. There's bagged up beans. There's bagged in water tuna. Fresher, more solidified. And you realize when you do that, or you compare aluminum can to bag plastic, yeah, it may not be it's not the best choices, of course, but at the end of the day, when you look and you read the labels, shit, 45% sodium. Why is there so much sodium? So it can last over a period of time. That's why people always, these food drives, or you want to feed the homeless and all that, they do this canned food drive. Why? Because some people may not like these canned foods. So what? They sit in the cabinets and it lasts for long periods of time. So when it's hurricane season, they can't cook, they pop open that can. Goddamn, how long this shit been in here? Well, about 2-3 years. What? And it's still fresh? It's still good? That doesn't alarm to you? Anyway, yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. It's a big problem. It's a very big problem in our community. It's extremely big. So let's jump back into solutions that we could provide for ourselves. First and foremost, and I'm saying this not by book, I'm saying this all through experience with what I went through personally with someone who I love tremendously. Someone who I love tremendously. Okay? So, canned foods, stay away from them. I used to see my mom use, of course, she's it's a Jamaican household, so she's going to cook a lot of things naturally. But there's some things at that time that she couldn't naturally get, so she had to substitute with the cans. Right? So to avoid all of that, do away with the cans, man. Even you people out there that love my people that love to do these barbecues and these family outings, right? And y'all want to make these puddings, and y'all want to make this fire ass mac and cheese and these corn like, and you taste it, you're like, ooh, baby, this is good. Auntie, how you did this? Oh, well, baby, I got this canned food in. Like, whoa, time out. You got this out of can? What? Like, the one thing I would even like, the one thing I would sit there and be like, all right, cool. You want to use a can? Carnation milk. I will give you that. That's the only thing I would get. Carnation milk, nutmeg, something like that. I'll give you that. I'll just give you that. I really would. It's cool. Whatever. I'll give you that. Anything else, man, no whatsoever. No. Oh, yeah. So I said something about the sodium regarding the canned foods. Oh, yeah, there's aluminum. I stated that too. Aluminum is detrimental to the brain. Why? Because it causes Alzheimer's and then dementia. What does my mother have? Dementia, in the last stages of dementia, going into Alzheimer's. Because of the canned foods. And this was a time before, well, at least to my knowledge, whoever can tell me any different, please do. And this is not a venting session. This is a teaching session. This is us talking forum. Write in the comments if you want to go ahead and say what you have to say. Let's work. We're here to network. We're here to build with each other. At that time, it was just a lot of cans. Not too much bags. If you saw bags or food in bags, it'll probably be properly bread or beans, like red beans, kidney beans, lima beans, etc. Vegetables. But I didn't see too much tuna in a bag until probably early 2000s, mid 2000s, into up to now. Now they started doing that, but I'm talking about when I was a kid. By that time, it was already too late. It was already too late. 40 years plus versus a 5-year-old. Like, you're accustomed to whatever it is that it is. It's embedded. It's good. You're you feel me? So yeah, switch the bags. Do away with the cans, because that is a detriment as well. High fructose corn syrup. Avoid all of that by reading labels, because there's high fructose corn syrup in your drinks. Not only in your drinks, that's where the main ones are, but it's also in your bread. This whole wheat crap, 100% whole wheat crap. Look, man, my mom followed doctors because whole wheat bread was recommended by them to say that that would help her within her diet to regulate and to do away with the diabetes. Don't eat white bread. Don't eat white bread. And when you read the labeling for the wheat bread, the brown bread, it is no better. It's worse. It's 10 times worse. It increases the blood sugar. It increases the insulin and the intake within the diabetes. If that was the case, we should have just stuck with the white bread. Hell, white bread is damn near better than the wheat bread. But you're told that it's not. Please look all this stuff up. Look all this information up. I am not sitting here trying to shoot shit with you. I'm not sitting here trying to. Please look it up yourself. Ashwagandha root, green tea, hydration of water, thorough exercising. Okay, doing away with certain meats, red meat. Sticking with real protein from fish, from vegetables, higher intake of vegetables. That will get you on the right path of reversing diabetes. So how do we reverse the diabetes? Well, it's very simple. I just explained that to you with the proper solution. Well, I've explained the action on the physical way of doing it, not on the inside. Less sugar, cutting down on the sugar and the sodium. They're making sure there's no poison in your system, aka aluminum, high fructose corn syrups, those yellow sixes, and whatever it is that you cannot pronounce. If you can't pronounce it, that's on a label, I don't care. You pull out your phone in that Publix or Winn-Dixie or Kroger, whatever shopping mart, Sedano's, Presidente, CVS, Walgreens, it don't matter. Pull that phone out and look it up. And one of the first things you'll probably see is chemically based or chemical soluble. Chemical. That alone should be alarming to you. But then when you look on the commercial, it's yay, yay, Fanta, Fanta, don't you want the Mountain Dew? Yeah. Drink Mountain Dew. Feel the taste. Like, that's a problem. That's a major problem. I think differently. I move differently. It may not be as fast for others, but it's the right steps. So I did say ashwagandha root, right? optional ginkgo helps as well too. Well, not optional, a necessity, necessary, because ginkgo deals with the brain, and I'll make a separate video with ginkgo, what ginkgo does, what ginkgo is supposed to do, etc. And ginkgo increases the brain function, your knowledge, your intelligence as well too. It creates more oxygen, more water flow within your brain. Okay. It creates a moment where it relieves stress, anxiety, depression. Because when you sit up and you look at a diabetic, when sugar hits your system and it crashes, it makes you crash. That's what sugar does too. When you crash, you become depressed. You become sad. You become unfunctional. You're not thinking properly. You're overthinking. You're not being yourself anymore. But when you get back up on sugar, you hike yourself back on sugar. Your high is back. You're like, yeah, I feel great. Alcohol got sugar in it. Man, it's a lot of stuff that has sugar in it. And I'm not saying sugar is the end all be all. Drink your sugar. There's natural sugars that you could drink. Your orange juice, your blueberries, your cranberry juices, your pomegranates, your nectar, your apple juice. There's natural juices out there that you could drink on a normal basis. But at the same time, it is not there for you to overconsume. People keep forgetting 65 to 80% of your body is water. Why aren't you consuming majority of that time frame with water, or that percentage with water? I'm just saying, drink more water. Drink a lot of water. Drink a gallon a day if you have to. Not have to, if you can, until you're able to drink a gallon a day on a regular basis. A gallon a day. It's okay. It's okay. Your body wasn't created to need sugar in the first place. Your fruits, your veggies will always be there. What? Like, if you're supposed to consume that much of fruits or that much sugar, why aren't the oranges bigger? You see what I'm saying? Why aren't the bananas? I mean, now it's, genetically being, created to be bigger. But a real natural orange, tangerine, should be around this size. Not like a football, but, around this size. The only thing to me I know off top that should be around, not a football, but like a nice size, but like this, like grapefruit or breadfruit. For those of you that know breadfruit, or coconut. Anything else? Why my orange look like almost to a coconut size? Something's not adding up there. Why are my bananas so thick and long? Like, no homo. I'm just saying, like, why is it so overly sized to me? Why are my grapes don't have seeds in them? That really pisses me off, because I love grapes. I love grapes, and it has seeds, and it doesn't have seeds in them anymore. And then there are people. I literally went up to Publix, and I spoke to the GM of Publix, and I asked him, like, do you have anything in the back that have seeds in them? He said no. I'm like, why? Because the people requested in this specific area, in this specific city, to not have seeds in their fruits because it was annoying. They didn't want to spit them out. If that wasn't the most laziest, I don't know if he made it up. If he made that up, that is the most laziest excuse I've ever heard in my life from a GM or just a store, period. If it's the people if he's telling the truth and it's the people These are the most laziest piece of people ooh. I can't even talk. That's lazy. That is lazy. That's like telling me you're eating a plum and oh man, the seed is in the way. They should make plums without seeds. How, can you imagine a plum without as big as? Come on, like why? I need seeds in them. It's real. I don't need fake fruit, fake food in my system that creates these kind of causes, these kind of diseases in my bloodstream and in my hereditary line. And then I have to sit there in my older ages, go in and out of memory, watching my future generation see me in the state I'm in, and at the same time seeing them about to be in the same state that I'm in currently. That I'm killing off my generation when I do stuff like that. When you do stuff like that, you're here for your legacy. You're here for your generation. I have to speak on this, man, because it's this important. It's that important to me. I could not be listening right now. I could not have been that athlete. I could not have had that determination and confidence to go out and look and feel different. I could have been the same boat, 300 pounds, just eating up all the sugar, putting a needle to my arm. Or I could have been losing all that weight, still eating crap, and putting a needle to my arm. I don't want to live like that. I don't ever want to live like that. And you shouldn't want to live like that either. And you shouldn't want your children to live like that either as well too. You should be wanting more. Period. These are my thoughts on type 1 and type 2 diabetes. You know somebody out there that need to watch this video, please do. Any extra consolation that I could provide, any extra help, poefitness@gmail.com. This is not easy for me. You don't ever want to get a phone call saying that your loved one is haven't been found or seen in such a period of time, and they don't know where they are because they went to the doctor just to do some blood work. And because of the time frame of them doing the blood work and up till now, nobody knows where they are. Nobody's seen them. Nothing. And you're the one that's taking care of them. And you're at work. You got something completely different going on because you got a family of yourself too, including your own life. And you have to search and search and search, driving for hours all around your own city, checking every nook and cranny, every alley, every bus stop, everywhere. Only to get that phone call to say, yeah, she's in ICU. You don't want that. Because you don't know how you're going to feel. Most of all, you don't know how they're feeling. And they can't even verbalize it to you. Because by that time, it's they don't know or they don't remember. Because they was in that diabetic coma. Is what they call it when they go unconscious and they don't remember anything from what they said, from what they've done. take notes and share this with whoever needs to hear this information, because that's what we're here for. We're here to spread information. We're here to spread knowledge.
They always pumping but cannot shoot. Guess there's all that gas within them that won't make them run hot. You, my crew's a fool, the most diverse, dangerous groups of misfits. Crazy is packed with gangsters, lawyers, doctors, and nurses. Meaning